I finished Birbfest, 31 days of painting a bird a day. What a fun challenge. I think it's about the most favorite challenge I've completed so far. I did a video about the first week of it, but did the rest of the month off camera. I shared each day on Instagram though, and if you watch until the end, I'll give a quick recap. For this video, I chose one of my birbs to transform into a block print. I've tried block printing a few times before with a tiger lady and a psychedelic octopus. The first thing I did, as you saw, is trace my Birbfest Goldfinch with tracing paper. And then I flipped it over so that the pencil marks were against this soft block for block printing. And I used a stylus to go over the lines again, and it transferred surprisingly well to the block. And then I carved them out using this sharp cutting tool, this carving tool for block printing. I added a little texture. I don't know what I'm doing, but I tried to get a block with some strong lines for the goldfinch's wings and a little bit of texture as well. And I cut off the excess. I can use that to make little stamps. I rolled out some heavy-bodied orange acrylic for the body of my goldfinch. I'm using some sheet pans here, which I thought was a good idea, but they actually weren't flat enough to get really good contact. I have this press that I just got as a Christmas present, and I used it to press down onto the block, onto the sheet pan. This press is very strong, and it actually crumpled my sheet pan a little bit. Whoops. And it was too much pressure too, in that it kind of blew out the parts of the design that were supposed to stay free of paint. After that test print, I carved out some more lines from my block. I wanted the edges to be a little bit thicker than the other lines in the block. And then I played around for the rest of the afternoon, making different backgrounds of blue or white, and then using orange or black for the paint colors. Those are the only heavy-bodied acrylics that I have. And orange and black are also great for a goldfinch's coloring. When I wasn't pressing with the press that I showed you, I fell back on our tried and true old biology book. The paper that I had used so far had been pretty thick watercolor paper, but I found that by using regular old printer paper, I was able to get better coverage. I also played around, as you see here, with using a gel plate. This one here did not work at all as a goldfinch print, but I do love how it came out, and you'll see I use it as a background later in a finished page. I played around with my gel plate, and the finches didn't come out with nice sharp lines, but I ended up also using those prints as backgrounds for some future prints that you'll see in a bit. And this background didn't end up working, not enough contrast, I guess, but I really liked the idea of a blue cloudy sky. And as I was peeling off this one, it looked so promising. Look at that black. I'm not sure if you could notice, but it got a little ripped when I tried to remove it from the plate. And then after that ripped paper, I went back to watercolor paper for my final one, black against an orange background. And I like that combo the best, and that print also came out pretty good. So I ended up cutting this one out and putting it against that dark background that I made on the gel plate earlier. Here's a look at some of my finished experiments and creations, including the mishaps as they occurred. And then I picked out a couple of favorites and I put them in my sketchbook, and I put that little flap in the middle of the two sides of the spread as well. And in my sketchbook after Birbfest, I put in the prompt and I made up this photo combining all 31 birbs, or birds as you will. They start from the earliest birds from January 1st all the way through the 31st, and they're going roughly in the order I did them, with the newest ones at the top.